Hello everyone, this is a Paper Princess and we are now on page 4 and 5. I'll be doing 4 and 5 together in this video because they're mirror images of each other and we'll just cut 2 of everything. So I have my page 4 and I brought out a new pocket page and I labeled it page 5. I'm going to set that aside here for a minute and just give you your measurements. So I've got 2 piles here. So the first one, A, is going to be 7 3/8 by 4 1/2. So that's 2 lines before 7 1/2. B is 7 3/8 by 5. So just take that same piece of paper and you're gonna cut your 7 3/8 first and then do 4 1/2 and then do 5. And C is going to be 6 3/4 by 4 1/2. D is our pocket, 8 1/4, which is 2 lines more than 8 by 4. And the 4 and 4 1/2, you should have a scrap piece. Usually there's a lot of 4s and 4 1/2s left over. So dig through your scraps and see if you have that. D is 5 1/8, which is 2 lines more than 5, by 5 5/8, which is 2 lines more than 5 1/2. So cut 2 of everything. I have my piles and I'm just gonna take the first pile here, set page 5 aside, and we'll score these first and then we'll score the others. Okay, so let me put that in order here. Okay, so A, oopsie, A is going to be scored with the 4 1/2 inch side facing the top. I've got my flat side up. B is going to have the 5 inch side facing the top. C is a pocket. So let's just do this. Hold on. Yes. So we're going to start with our longest side facing the top, because that's the side that'll be open. D is our inside pocket, so I'm going to have the longest side at the top. And E. Okay, so let me just, okay, this does not get any score line. We're putting this in the pocket. So I'm going to set that aside and let's bring out our other pile and do it all again. So we'll start with A. That's the 4 1/2 inch side at the top. B is the 5 inch side running across the top. C is our pocket, so we'll start with the longest side. D is our pocket. And E, we're not scoring. Okay. So let's get tape on our first pile here. Need my little ripping tool. Here it is. Okay. So and then we'll press everything down. Okay, so we'll just do all this first, and then we'll do our second pile. Cut the pocket corners, but I'm not going to fold it just yet. All right, so this pile here is page 4, and let's do page 5. So E, we're not gonna put any tape on. Get these all folded over. So if you've made one of my books and you've gotten to the point where you put pictures in them, let me know. Let everyone know how many pictures you're able to get in your album. I try to make these so all these pockets help you load it up and you can get a lot of pictures in here and still see the beautiful design paper. Okay, so we have page 5 aside, and I'm going to put that right on top of my page 5 page over there, pocket page, and let's work on page 4. Okay, so I've got my 4 at the upper left. I know I'm facing the right direction, and I'm going to take flap A, which I labeled in pencil here, And that is going to be our right flap. So I'm going to turn this page this way and lay this down. Okay, so I am going to corner round A and B. So real quick. All right, so here we are on the right-hand side, and I'm going to just bring it down to the edge. I'm putting it down slowly. I've got my thumbs here so I can feel them at the edge, and there's just a little bit of space to the left and right, and I'll lay that down. Okay, and I'll turn it over, and we're going to do the same thing with B. So I'm going to corner round this. I'm just using a small corner round. You can use a medium one if you want, whatever you think looks good. And I'm going to just lay this on top here. That way I can make B line up with A. So I've got it right on top here, and I'm going to bring it to the edge here with my thumbs, and I'm looking left and right, and I can see that this flat B is lined up with A right here. So it's right on top of that. And I will just guide it to the bottom. There we go. Okay, so now make sure I'm facing the right way because I've got my number covered up there. All right, so really your shorter flap is on the right. Okay, so now I'm going to put down my bigger pocket. And I'm just going to take off the bottom piece. And fold my sides over. Let's put that right in between our flap A and B. I have a little bit of space on each side so these flaps can go over this pocket. There we go. All right, now before I do anything else, I'm going to lay down the magnets. So let's put, since flap A is going to go on top of flap B, let's put our magnets on flap B first. Okay, and I'm going to hold this pocket down and then just push this down and go like that. So I know that when I lay it down, it's as flat as it can be. And I'll tape these down. So, let me just, what I'm going to do here, we're going to have a pocket underneath here, and that insert, flap E, will have a magnet on it, which will hold this down. But I want to also hold this down, but not have another set of 4 magnets. So I'm just going to do my little way here where you take this magnet. Let's take a positive here. and we'll do the opposite. You know, normally I put down my positive first, but on the other page, we'll put down the negative first, because these two pages are going to be back to back and they're going to be rubbing up against each other. So I started with the positive first, and if I put my positive there, then all I have to do is take off the back and fold this over top. It saves us 2 magnets. And there they land, and I'll put some tape there. All right, so here's my insert, but first we have our under pocket. Now, I'm not going to lay this down just yet, but what you'll do is you'll put down your design paper first. And I just used a solid. I'm going to erase my letter A. And I will show you that right now. And then you can lay this down. Okay, so I'm going to have a solid piece there. But let me just put this where it's going to be. It's going to be where the open side faces out, okay? So if you always dry fit this before you glue it down, tape it down. And I'm going to have it a little bit above this score line here, so there's a little bit of space, and that will help me fold over. But as I'm dry fitting it, I can see that a little bit is sticking out. So I am just going to cut that little bit off. Okay, so always do that. When I first made the book, this is what the measurement was, but as I'm laying it down right here, I just have a little sliver that I need to trim off. Okay, so let's dry fit this again and make sure. If I put it there, then I'm right at the edge now. So that's fine. You just don't want it sticking out. So after I put my solid, I will tape this down. And then you're going to have your insert here. Just going to go like this. And you will put a magnet here, which will fold over and land over there. Okay, so be sure. Let's just do this. Well, let's not do this now. First, and I'm not going to do it on camera, but first put down your paper and then do the magnet and then put the rest of the design paper. So let me show you that real quick, which papers I chose. Now I'm going to put that right there. Okay, so I'm going to show you these after we do page 5. I will show you with the design paper. So let's bring out page 5 and do the same thing. So we've got our page 5. I'm labeled up here. And this time we're going to reverse everything. So if we had our page 4 over here, page 5 is going to be here. I'm going to put my A flap on the left-hand side this time. So it's going to look like that. All right, so let's put that aside. Take A and B, and I'm going to corner round them like I did on the other page. Okay, so A goes on the left-hand side this time. Go, and we'll just bring it to the edge, and I've got a little bit of space on each side. Okay. All right. Then I'll do B. And I've got it lined up with A flap, and I'm just going to guide it to the edge with my thumbs. All right, here we go. And then let's put our big pocket down, so that is D. And I've got a little bit of space on each side, and I will just put that down. And now let's do our magnets. So we're going to start with the longer side, flap B, and put down some magnets. And I'm going to put my negative charge down first this time. Hold that pocket down a little bit and then press that down. Okay, so we got B down, and now let's take 2 more magnets and put them right on top, right there. Okay. Okay, so that went awfully quick. And then we are going to have the same thing. I'm just going to take my pocket over here and just make sure it fits. So I'm going to hold it to the edge here, and I've got a little bit of space above this score line, and it pretty much fits, gotta say. Let me see if there's anything sticking out. Smidge, just a sliver. So I'm just gonna take a little sliver off. Make sure this fits again. Let's see. A little bit more. That's why it's always a good idea to dry fit things. Okay, that should do it. Just a little sliver of the bit off of there. And there we go. So that fits nice. So now let me show you the design paper so that you can put that design paper first before gluing this pocket down. And don't forget your magnet over here. Let me show you what I did. Okay. All right, so now page 4 and 5, I have the green paper. It's got some lettering on it, cursive lettering. I put that on top. And this paper and this paper are from the same sheet. So I believe up in the right-hand corner was this B. So if you want to cut that first, you can. Just place that down and put a little pencil mark where you're gonna cut it. And at the bottom was this owl. So that's the bottom of the left-hand side was the owl. So I chose that for this side. Okay, for the design paper underneath, I used green on the inside flaps. And then I put down my pocket. And there's a sheet of these little tags. So I put the owl there. You can either glue him down like I did or make a flap out of it, and you can put a little picture underneath. Either way, and then you have your insert. So I have my magnet underneath here, which lands on top of here. Okay, so this was one of these ephemera cards. It's about 4x6, a little less than 4x6, but just place it on your black paper and trim off any little bit that you have to fit it there. But I made this measurement so that it could fit in the pocket. I believe I had to trim just a sliver off. This was leftover piece from the, there's a piece of paper in there with all these numbers on it. So cute. So I just took that sliver and put it there. There was a number 2 somewhere along the way. That's what I used on the cover. You can use any that there is a bit of this left over, so you can choose what you want to put on the cover. So I have that here. On the inside, I have my photo mat of the owl, and I had him opening this way because I had leftover piece of green and I wanted the lettering to, you know, be horizontal. So that's why I didn't open this book this way. And the sun paper is back here. I have a little magnet on the back of my booklet and on here. And I can put more photo mats with leftover paper also. For the pullout, I used a dark green metallic. Okay, so this side, I have same green paper. For the pullout, I have my little bumblebee queen here because I've got the bee here. This was a leftover strip from that number paper. Now underneath, I just love this gold color. That was really cute. That came from my metallic stack. I have the bee queen again with a card here. This also was left over and the lettering goes horizontal like this, so I did make this booklet flip up like that. And there's a magnet back there. I've got my moon here, my pullout, and same dark green as on the other side. So I just really like how this looks because even though it's the same mirror image, I've got owls over here and bees over here. So it just looked really cute. Hope you liked it. And the next video, we're on our last page already. See you soon.